Thanks for joining me on another recap of the AI news that I've been keeping up with over the past week. For those of you that haven't seen this before, this is a little video that I create to share with the team, and because I'm sharing it with the team, I might as well share it with everyone else. That is all about the different AI news that I've consumed last week. So I'm doing this to try and stay on top of things because it's a fast-paced, changing world and things are happening so fast and so much news coming in that I can't expect everyone in the entire team to keep track of it. So I try to do my best, share everything I can, and then they share what they know with me. So this is an AI-generated script based on everything that I've learned last week, and then I add my comments and pepper them through as we go. So let's go. I haven't read this before, by the way. Hey everyone, welcome back to the Roundup. This week, I dove into a mix of videos that span from booming AI revenues and historic breakthroughs in self-improvement architecture, to deep dives in AI coding, product management insights, and major international tech showdowns. Let's break down the key themes and insights I picked up. AI's economic impact and market dynamics. It's clear that AI isn't changing the tech landscape. It's powering impressive financial growth across major companies. Online video from the AI Daily Brief detailed how Meta's and Microsoft's record earnings are directly fueled by AI innovations. Meta had a 22% surge in revenue, and Microsoft's Azure is hitting $75 billion in sales. The discussion even zoomed in on high-stakes competition between OpenAI and Anthropic, showing that bigger tech isn't just about shiny gadgets, but literally making shitloads of money. So in the same time period, I think OpenAI has grown 3 times, but Anthropic has grown like 23 times. They've closed the gap on them with how much difference in revenue that they're generating and the amount of scale that they're able to get. I think a lot of Anthropic's growth has come from the rise in the AI coding and in it having some of the best coding models from like November till now. The other sort of thing that I remember from one of the videos discussing, which probably made sense, was we're in sort of a new world with these AI companies. So these revenue numbers, we don't know if that's good, if that's the baseline, or if that's bad, and we're just like learning what a AI-driven company's revenue should actually look like. While another brisk update broke down Microsoft and OpenAI's heated AGI negotiations, so apparently in their clause, Microsoft is getting royalties until 2030 or until AGI is described, but then it's a loose interpretation of AGI, so then they're trying to refine that, and I'm pretty sure OpenAI is trying to separate from Microsoft as fast as possible. These discussions paint a picture of a market not only in rapid growth, but also evolving in terms of performance metrics and valuation strategies. Self-improving AI models and architectural evolution. So before I go into that, the biggest thing about self-improving models is having AI that can train and improve itself. So then the next version gets better and then it just continually does that. And everyone believes that once we get to that point, we're going to then have a runaway growth and exponential like value that will be coming from these things because they can iterate and improve themselves so much faster than what we can do. At the moment, they still can't do that because they're not creative, they're not trying new things, they're just trying what we've shown them or what they've done. Once they can start trying to invent new methods or procedures to do things, they can iterate at a speed that we can't keep up with. One of the most fascinating trends this week was the notion of AI systems evolving on their own. Several videos discussed what I'd call an AlphaGo moment. So AlphaGo, for those of you who don't remember, it's an awesome documentary. I think it was on Netflix. It was about the game called Go, which is a Chinese board game. Chess was a challenge for AIs until they got Kasparov and Deep Blue or something that beat him, and then there's a large gap. And then there was a game called Go, based in China, where people thought that game could never be played by AI, it's too complicated. And then the AI ended up beating Lee Sun-dol. I still remember his name even after watching that documentary 7-8 years ago. He beat him 5 times, and the AI just learnt how to play the game from the rules. It wasn't taught by a person. There was even a point in one of the games where the AI did a move and all the experts and people watching didn't understand what it had done and thought it had made a mistake until it won the game because of that move. So that showed that the AI, there's no emotion, there's nothing, there's just strategy and plan. it knew that that was the best move to play at that point because it could approximate what all the other paths were. So that's the AlphaGo moment. It's a point where sort of like astounds you, but it's able to learn on its own. Okay, so where systems move away from human designed structures towards self-discovering their optimal architecture. In one clip, a breakthrough paper from China was deconstructed showing how AI might soon run thousands of experiments to refine its own neural networks. That's all it is. It's how many experiments can they run, how fast can they iterate and get improvements. Any incremental improvement will then compound and there'll be huge gains at the end of the cycle. And then there's Meta CEO Zuckerberg's latest essay on personal superintelligence, where he claims that Meta's own AI systems are starting to self-improve. It's provocative thinking about how this technology might not just automate, but actually enrich our personal capabilities. So that article or post was discussing how everyone will have their own access to a personal intelligence, like a superintelligence. So you'll have your own AI that is just for you, that knows everything about you, works with you and does things for you. Where this will be different than in some things I think that I heard other people saying was, say we go to the future and everyone has access to these things and no one needs to work. What is the currency? What do we do? Having an income isn't going to help. You'll have to have like credits. And then they were saying, yeah, you'll need like AI credits or minutes. And then that sort of affects with how much you can do with those tools, because then that's what your budgeting allows. You'll be able to trade those credits. What came to mind was that movie Time, Justin Timberlake with the time on the arms, and they're swapping how much time they have to live with people, and that's how they get paid. Because if we don't need to do the menial jobs and we're being creative, this is very far thinking. I don't think we're going to get to this. This is like, sounds like sci-fi movie stuff really. But there will be a point, there will be a segment of the population that is not unemployed like we think of today, but they'll be unemployed in a different way, because they'll be looked after, but we need something for people to do. A lot of people derive their value and their worth from their jobs. I don't know what I will do without a job. This job is everything. Like, we made our own business, so it is part of me. It's not just something that I do. And we're in a space that's going to be disrupted, obviously. It's happening right now. So I don't know what it all means or where it goes, but it's very interesting to think about. There's people out there thinking, all right, if we go to this extreme where AI is doing everything and we have our own AIs available to us, what does that mean for society as a whole? Like, if we're investing all this money in energy and power and water treatment, what does that mean for everyone else? Are we going to have water wars with the data centers because they need more water to power everything so we can get the benefit? Or do people get the priority and get the water first? Same with energy. If energy is cheap and free, then AI can use it. But if AI is using all of it, what do we use? Like, there's a lot of things that people are talking about and I haven't had enough time to think about and understand and actually have a comment on. AI-assisted coding, open source breakthroughs, and vibe coding. On the technical side, coding remains front and center. David Heinemeier Hansen's discussion on vibe coding reminded me how while AI-generated code is efficient, there's a risk of letting the machine do too much, risking the loss of true hands-on experience. So I think he was David Heinemeier, DHH. Yeah, so he was from, I think it was Basecamp, or Signal 37 or whatever they're called. He was saying, yeah, you'll lose the capability of being able to do things if you stop using them. So if you just become a reviewer rather than writing the code, you'll start losing the ability to do stuff. I believe that, because the less you do, then you get rusty with it, you forget. I don't say you never forget how to ride a bicycle, but if you haven't ridden a bicycle for 20 years and you go on one for the first time, pretty sure you're not riding as good as you were when you stopped. Same thing with coding. It's the problem-solving, analytical thinking doesn't disappear, but what will go away is problem-solving or understanding new tech and how to connect new dots to make new solutions. So it's an interesting topic, that there. The buzz around GPT-5 rumors was impossible to ignore. Everyone still keeps talking about GPT-5. It's meant to be released this month at some point. There's apparently anonymous models being tested from OpenAI on the benchmark sites. I started getting things in the chat interface saying, do you prefer this answer or this answer? I think that's been a telltale sign in the past about them testing different models without telling anyone. Alongside these high-profile developments, I checked out some impressive open-source projects such as Horizon Alpha and Qwen 3. Horizon Alpha's demos range from physics simulations to creative puzzles showcased the exciting potential for free multimodal models. And Qwen 3 from Alibaba even managed to run a 2D Navier-Stokes fluid simulation while juggling chain of thought quirks. So they're not chain of thought models, but they do a lot of thinking in as they're processing and outputting. So they're thinking, but not chain of thought like the O models from OpenAI. But again, they're impressive demos. The same sort of demos I see every time someone does it. There's a Rubik's Cube demo. There's something else. Can it one-shot this, one-shot that? So they're doing really good. And one of them was able to create a 2,500 line output of a futuristic navigational cockpit simulation using blah, 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 whatever it was, in one prompt. Awesome demos. How does that actually work in the real world? How does that provide value in what we're actually doing? How does it code properly? One-shot prompts is not what you need to build a product. You need a design, you need a plan. That's why DevReady exists. We design and plan before you do anything. Just because you have AI that can do things from one prompt just means you're going to get faster experiments, or you're going to get the wrong thing faster. Or you spend more time just stuffing around because you're trying to get little things right instead of focusing on the bigger picture because you didn't plan properly. AI product management and enterprise integration. Beyond technical developments, there's a strong narrative around how AI is reshaping product management and enterprise workflows. James Lowe's talk highlighted why we need AI product managers who understand both the technical and strategic sides to shape products in an era of emergent behavior. This is important because you do need a product manager or an engineer who can design products, because with the ability to use AI to be able to do work for you, you can sit at a higher level and delegate the lower level tasks to those agents to execute on the work, but you need to have enough background and understanding how to connect all the dots and layers together to make that a feasible and viable product. Product manager may say we need this, an engineer or lead product technical, whoever they may be, will take that, say this is how we're going to do it, they then do it, someone else tests it. But if you can formulate that and put it together in a proper way, that'll make the biggest difference, because then you'll get the most outcome out of those agents. Similarly, Ben Stein's candid session on shipping products and when you don't know what they can do brought home the point that embracing uncertainty in the form of vibe coding and iterative user feedback is now part of everyday product innovation. And speaking of enterprise, so that was a discussion about someone that was making an AI agent that you could tag in like Word documents and somewhere else, and then when they put it out to market, people were tagging it in different places. And they being asked, can I tag it here and here and here? And they're like, I'm not sure. The capabilities are there, and they started reasoning through what they can do, but they're use cases they hadn't thought of, which is fair because you can't think of everything. But there was capabilities in the product that they didn't know about because it's a similar thing coming from a different context, but it was able to still handle that. And because it's an LLM, it can handle uncertainty and ambiguity in what it's been given because it can process the context. So there will be some uncertainty in what can be done because you're not going to be able to cover every single use case. Can't remember the word now, but it's a system that it's not fixed. You don't know what it's possible, what it can do. And the models change so often. You'll be developing and deploying things with capabilities that you don't know exist, and they may exist the next week when the new model comes out. Or it's got other capabilities that are in it that you haven't tested. So there's a lot of uncertainty in that regards. So Walmart took a leap from testing isolated agents to deploying super agents across customer support and operations. That shows that real-world AI deployments is already transforming vast retail operations. So they're the largest employer in the world, I think they said, the largest retail company in the world, and they've gone all in on agents to support the team. They've got frameworks to support multi-agent setups. There's 4 different core agents for operations, customer support, retail, and something on customers. So they've really gone in and they understand the benefit and the value of it and how to refine and improve their business with it. Global competition and rapid-fire AI innovations. Last but not least, the broader geopolitical and rapid innovation updates keep us on our toes. One video dug into the intense AI rivalry between US and China, comparing the White House's innovation agenda with China's plans for a World AI Cooperation Organization. This isn't just tech talk, it's a raw look at how global superpowers are jockeying for a position in an AI arms race, also touching on issues like NVIDIA H20 exports. So last week was the release of the White House AI plan. A lot of people said it was positive and good. The decision there was Initially, they didn't want open source because then China could copy open source from America and get the head. China is now leading the open source movement, and then they're trying to push that out into other countries in the world. With a rivalry between US and China, US now wants to have capability to then provide great open source models built on, they said, Western values. So then they'll try and push other countries to use those products or other products that are privatized. And in doing that, in their mind, they're preventing China from going everywhere, but then US will be everywhere. So it's really a hedge. It's a fight for who has the most use and the most partners using their products. So then there's a standard there globally with the values that the country who's pushing it aligns to. That's really what they're trying to do there. And then the export positioning and the NVIDIA stuff is, I think they want to allow China to just buy the right GPUs again anyway, because then there'll be a bigger benefit to NVIDIA and the US. But there's already export controls on what they can do, but they've done so well with the lower powered ones. So it's really, it's beyond me, this area. In parallel, a couple of roundups, one that covered Google's no-code product Opal. So it's another product similar to NAN, a bit more graph node related, connection, if this, then that sort of flows through nodes. And another that gave rapid fire taste of innovations from GLM 4.5, which is an open source Chinese model. Apparently did really good. And then there was cutting edge video editing tools, which I don't remember. Yeah, so closing thoughts. It's been an incredible week watching these diverse threads of AI development weave together, from financial booms and self-optimizing systems to enhanced coding tools and strategic product management. Whether you're a developer, investor, or tech enthusiast, these innovations signal that the future is both challenging and exhilarating. I hope you found these highlights as exciting as I did. There's a lot there. If anyone can share the links if anyone wants. As usual, let me know if there's anything I can do to improve these videos. Are you okay with the format? Do you mind that I'm reading this for the first time as I'm looking at the camera and talking about things? I'd love to know your thoughts on any of the topics discussed. And until next time, good luck keeping up with everything.